Good evening. My name is James Trantham, and tonight we'll be talking about Dr. John R. Neal Jr. When we learn about the Scopes trial, when we talk about the defense team, we always remember Clarence Darrow. Clarence Darrow was just part of the defense team, though. Dr. Neal was actually the chief counsel for the defense, and he was the one that actually brought Darrow in. In the trial, though, Neal actually wanted to look and attack the law itself as a constitutional issue, saying that it had impaired Mr. Scopes' usefulness as a teacher. That was part of his basis of it. And as a constitutional law, he tried 2 times to move it to the federal court system, so that hopefully the Supreme Court, and he was hoping that they would overturn the verdict and rule the law unconstitutional. I researched the New York Times articles in this, and they had mentioned it about the move to the federal court system, that he was trying that, and he was basically saying it was unconstitutional. Now, he was not only representing Scopes during this point. He was also representing J.R. Wilson. Wilson of Rio Springs, Tennessee, was a tax paper, and he, in another article by the New York Times, he looked at it. Wilson looked at it this way: as a taxpayer and with children, them going to public schools, public schools were offering to teach modern science. But in the process of teaching modern science, they were not teaching the evolution theory. And in science, it's lots of theories in there, not just evolution, but they have to teach a lot of them. And he was looking at, since they said they'll teach modern science, they're not teaching evolution, they're taking his money and property. So this violates Section 1 of the 14th Amendment, saying that it deprives him as of his liberty and property without due process of law, and operates an unreasonable restraint upon his liberty. Neal continues, Dr. Neal continues to gain support, or tries to gain support. He tried to go to the East Tennessee Education Association a couple months later, and one of them condemned the Tennessee anti-evolution law. Thing was, the organization there refused to allow his resolution to be adopted, and when he asked to present himself on the floor, they refused, and their reason was the question of the law was now in the court system, and for them to, they didn't want to establish a precedent that they would step in the court case, but since the court is in the courts, precedent has been established, and it was the subject they could not decide on. So they passed on that. They refused to sign on to a statement. Neal was an interesting person. He continued after the Scopes trial into going forth defending workers' rights, striking workers up through the 20s and 30s. And interesting character. He was solely into the Scopes case, or fully into it, wanted to fight it from a constitutional point of view, because one of his reasons was he believed that teachers, they have been trained, they had went through the schooling, college, certificates, and to be hindered in this way of teaching, not able to teach certain areas, they actually diminishes the usefulness of a teacher. So I found it interesting in the concept when I was looking at for a fundamentalist debate issue and looking into the Scopes trial, found this character. So hope you enjoyed it, and hope everyone has a good weekend. Be safe out there.